in Manhattan, and I'm wondering what kind of challenges do you guys find as your organization grows trying to have people cope with social media?
What do you mean, cope with social media in which way?
How does a larger organization cope with
the real time of maybe your employees, or do you have a social media etiquette?
Oh yeah, it's funny. Like so much of what we do is well, I mean, so many of the people that work at Foursquare, they're just like, they're not social media experts. It's just like, we've just been using these tools for a long time, so we're really familiar with them. And so sometimes you have to repeat, like, hey, at company meetings, remember, there's no blogging the secret stuff that we talk about. Like, when you're taking Instagram photos of our new office, make sure, like, our top secret stuff isn't on the whiteboard. You know, like, we sometimes have to be really explicit about what's okay and what's not okay. Just in general, I think because, like, because a lot of the people in the company, myself included, have kind of, like, spent the last 10 years knee deep in a lot of social media stuff, it comes very naturally to the company. Like I think a lot of us are very good at Twitter. Like I personally try to get a lot of our employees, like to have conversations with different Foursquare users. Like if there's if someone complains about something, oh, I can't believe Foursquare is broken in this way, and I'll say, hey, you should talk to Mark, our Android developer. Here's his Twitter name, and encourage that conversation, and just have people be really transparent and try to keep the company really transparent, and just make it seem a lot smaller than it actually is.
And I guess I'm not sure exactly which specific part of the question you were trying to get at, but our social media policy or communication policy in general is just be real and use your best judgment. And in general, we try to, I know there's a lot of bigger corporations that put specific guidelines of what you can and can't say under what name, and whether it's through Twitter or blogging and so on. And our belief is that most policies are used to address that 0.1% of situations that come up at the inconvenience and expense of the other 99.9%. So we try to avoid having a policy.
We have one more question.
So I'm Wendy Meadley from the Social Wendy Group, and I'm an Uber Foursquare user.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I actually am curious can we do a poll of the room for two things that I'm trying, and I'm curious to see if other people are trying. Is that all right?
Sure. This is live. Let's do it.
All right. So anybody else using Foursquare as a Twitter client to feed their social search strategy? Yeah.
Wait.
So,
I didn't even understand.
He's like, oh my God.
Right, so
It might be the thing on the Uber's whiteboard, right? So actually using Foursquare out and about, taking photos and then feeding it into Twitter and Facebook is one of the, I think, best things Foursquare actually
Yeah.
has
That's what I use it for, yeah.
Right. But then actually doing title tag and search strategy with it. And
Well, including your
and
hashtags and everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you hear a lot about it?
I haven't. It hasn't been something I've been really paying attention to, so it could be happening. It might just be that I'm not aware of it. If you see that happening, like, let us know about it. Because, like, I don't know, I just like to see interesting ways that people are using the platform. But yeah, it's funny. Like you see, hashtags are kind of born on Twitter, and you see that extend to Facebook. You definitely see it in Foursquare. Like you see that the use of the stuff in Instagram as well. It's just like, it's funny how like something that's invented on one platform just bleeds out to all the other platforms.
Finally, to wrap this up, I'm just going to go to both of you and ask, looking back, a year from now, looking back at 2012, what would be the overall theme in tech that we're going to look back on?
Big overall theme in tech. I don't know. I mean, I'm so like biased towards looking toward from the location perspective, but this came up. This is one of the themes of the keynote yesterday. Like, everyone always asks, like, when are location-based services going to be huge? And I'm like, they already are huge. Like everyone uses the Google Maps app that's on your iPhone. People use that every day. Like that's probably one of the most used apps around. And it drives me nuts that like when you open that app, it's just like a blank map when it should be a map of all the cool stuff I should be paying attention to immediately. Mm-hmm. So I think that like, first of all, like it's gonna, people just start to accept the fact like, yeah, location-based services are already huge, people are using them all the time. And then they're also, like it's the next big thing to really get social. Like all these location tools will get social, and then we'll look back on a year from now and be like, oh my God, I can't believe we lived without these tools.
Tony?
I think with the kind of proliferation of just all these different apps and technology, I think people are going to start realizing the value of actually more face-to-face interactions, and it can be powered by technology like Foursquare or Meetup.com and so on. But I think South by is an example where, and it's not just more face-to-face interaction. South by has kind of grown to a crazy size now, but I think one of the challenges people are having is how do you have more meaningful face-to-face interactions, and it gets harder as events or companies.
And as we have more friends within these communities.
Right, and I mean, even just like us trying to schedule time just to say hi is hard, surprisingly hard at South by versus in LA or Vegas.
Definitely.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, go for it.
What you were saying just reminded me. Scott Heiferman, the guy that started company Meetup, has a great quote. It's like, it's about using the internet to get off the internet. And like, it's a really big idea, and I think you're kind of leaning towards it. And some of the stuff that we're doing at Foursquare is approaching that. But like, using all the tools that we have, all the sensors in our pocket, like the network that we're connected to, just to get to the point where we can get off of our phones and get off of the internet, and just like have those connections be made, and then just like live your life.
Yeah, and no matter how quickly or how amazing technology advances, our own evolution, biological makeup is not going to evolve fast enough to change the value of face-to-face interactions.
Well, definitely. On that note, thank you so much for the great and thoughtful conversation. Let's give our guests a round of applause. Dennis Crowley, Tony Shea. Also, do we want to...
Is Brian making an announcement?
Well,
or Jen?
Delivering Happiness, we do have a book here, a new book. Do you want to just talk about it? Or just mention
We'll
it?
bring Jen up if that works. So there's actually a separate company called Delivering Happiness that Jen is the CEO of, and the book came out in 2010, and she'll announce this next part.
Thank you. So yeah, I don't know if you guys were here last year when we announced Delivering Happiness officially as a company. And so this time around, we're announcing that we just launched the Delivering Happiness comic book. So we actually don't have copies right now, but tomorrow we'll be back at 11, so if anyone wants to come back then to pick up some copies. And also within that, stemming off the whole downtown project conversation, we're giving a free trip to anyone that participates in this sweepstakes that we're doing. So basically, it's a free trip to experience downtown Vegas yourself, take a tour of Vegas, downtown and Zappos, and hang out with me and Tony so that we can actually show you what is really going on down there. It's actually really, really exciting. So the information is either on deliveringhappiness.com or in the books that I'll bring tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. But yeah, it's an exciting time, so hopefully we'll see you back tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much. And once again, thank you to Samsung for helping put this all together. Let's all thank them, because we would not be here at the Samsung the live stream for everyone here offline and online. Go to Samsung.com/HowOlympic Be one of the first to be part of the Samsung Olympic Genome Project. And once again, keep it right here at What's Trending, YouTube.com/What's Trending. We are bringing you live coverage from South by Southwest. I'm Cheryl Lazar. We'll see you soon. Bye.